Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ray Fenix for the TNT title was first on Rampage. This was excellent. Also, hello and welcome to Ups and Downs, the Wrestling Review show with me, Simon Miller, and for everybody that messaged me going, Simon, we missed the intro. This is the intro. This is the intro right here. Also, I'll let you in on a secret. With the old intro, do you know what you used to do? You used to skip it. And do you want to know how we know this? Because we have the analytics. So don't cry over spilt milk, just take your tongue and lip it up. What? I didn't really know what to expect here, but then it turned out that I absolutely did. Powerhouse Hobbs was going to be all I'm a big man slapping man meat, whereas Fenix was just going to be flippy dippy doodah 9000. And this contrast of styles, absolutely wonderful. I mean, William wrecked Fenix with this crazy slam to start with when he threw him into Barry Barricade. And man, oh man, do I regret breaking my sign. So of course, what I decided to do is break it some more. I'm out of control. It does annoy me though, because Baz just wants to do his job. When Hobbs quite literally stepped onto Fenix's throat. I was like, he's a murderer. I think he then applied a nerve hold, so I couldn't help but laugh, because like, you can't hold anybody's nerves. That's not a thing. But it really pissed off Fenix, who was like, that's it, I'm done. Well, he tried anyway, because he was going to do something off the ropes when William just grabbed him and slammed him into the floor. And this brand new Powerhouse Will Hobbs is brilliant. He's like a machine. Fenix then decided to go for a German suplex. That's in aller Weltmax do. But then he did prove me wrong, because he went for a take two and he actually hit it. Hot damn. He also hit a cutter and a top rope kick when he just ran at Will Hobbs, who pounced him so hard into the corner, I was chuckling away again. I don't know how he does this without hurting people. It looks so violent. I mean, it probably knocked the hell out of him, which means if hell exists within Fenix, now it's not there anymore, whatever that means. And Powerhouse then continued this onslaught with this crazy good spine buster when all of a sudden Fenix was coming back with a boot to the face. These two work great together. He also got the frog splash for a near fall when he just started busting out super kicks, but essentially Will just grabbed him and hit what I think they're now calling town business, and he got the 1, 2, 3, and he retained the TNT title. QT Marshall then got in the ring and hit the diamond cutter on Alex Abrahantes. So I quite like this pairing together too, because they're like the antithesis of each other, but still, if we do more stuff like this with Powerhouse Will Hobbs, you're gonna fly right to the top. Awesome. Up. We then got this great video for Adam Cole, who of course is returning to Dynamite in 2 weeks. And while I have no idea who he's facing, oh my gosh, has he got me excited for this. And here's what we need to do. We need to take Mr. Cole, we need to turn him into AEW's biggest babyface, and we need to make him the world champion, because he's so damn good at this, I think he could be responsible for lighting a fire under AEW's ass. We also had a video with Stu Grayson, who was in the hospital visiting Even Uno. I did some research, and don't worry, a hospital is just a local medical facility. But he was so mad at John Moxley for doing this to Oons, he challenged him to a match on Dynamite. Now listen, Stu Grayson, I'm really happy that AEW has rehired you, but what the hell are you doing? You're going to die. And then we put a big spotlight on Taya Valkyrie. Why not? Because she was facing Ava Lawless, which is a fantastic wrestling name. And basically, she beat her up for about 60 seconds. She hit her own version of Jaded, and she got the 1, 2, 3. But look, if we are going to do a feud between these two, you have to give Taya something. So why not give her this? The strangest part is that Jade came out afterwards with Layla Gray, who has a fan made up of dollar bills, and Mark Sterling, who was taking notes. And what was he writing here? I can't believe Taya Valkyrie stole our move, what a meanie. So this was basically nothing in many ways, but if you want people to believe that Valkyrie maybe, just maybe, could beat Cargill, which I have no problem with by the way, once again, she has to get victories, so I'll give it an up. But all of this needs more time. Matt Hardy, Ethan Page and Isaiah Cassidy were then training Stokely Hathaway for his match with Hook. This is all my dreams come true. Because Hathaway hit the ropes at one point while screaming, I'm hitting the ropes, and looked terrified the whole time. When Matt Hardy was giving his slams, he basically tripped over himself. These guys are the best. He also did the worst splash ever and screamed constantly. And he finished by eating a cookie and saying, man, that's a good ass cookie. So what I think we should do on next week's episode of Rampage is scrap everything else and just have an hour of this. Because it was basically Goofy Wrestling for Life, and Goofy Wrestling for Life makes me happy, and I do believe we're doing this match on Dynamite, so please just make it as fun as possible. And do you want to know what followed that? It was Matt My Nipples Are Heart Menard and Angelo Parker taking on the Bollywood Boys. So once again, I think somebody was just saying, we need to make Simon Miller's day mission success. And sure, much like the previous match, this was just done to get Matt and Angelo a win because they are going to feud with the Acclaimed. But the Bollywood Boys reminded us that they are a pretty damn good wrestling team. And if we want to give them something a little bit more on Dynamite or Rampage, we probably should. And they also got a hot tag at one point, but it didn't really go anywhere when the former 2.0 hit a double DDT to get the 3, and then they celebrated. I'm actually quite excited to see where this is gonna go, because these two guys rarely get a win on television. So to see it, well, the t-shirt says it all, I'm giving it an up. Goofy Wrestling was all over this Rampage as well, because we then saw Don Callis greeting Takeshita in the Winnipeg airport, and not only did he have flowers, but he had a bunch of Japanese drummers, because of course he's trying to win him over. But Takeshita sold this like, man, you're the weirdest guy ever. His facial reactions are actually pretty funny. I really hope we do continue this on though, because Takeshita quite clearly is a star in the making. But if we do team him up with Callis, he's probably going to get there quicker than he would have done otherwise. Very entertaining stuff. When we got to the controversy, I swear people need real problems. Because we did indeed confirm through a video that on Dynamite, it is going to be Kenny Omega versus Vikingo. Now, if you don't know, don't worry about it, but if you do, hot damn, our eyes are about to fall out of our face. The rage comes from the fact that it's happening without no build, and I totally get it. I understand that. Most wrestling is better when you do have a story to justify it, but it is like someone offering you free ice cream for life, and you being like, but I wanted some cake. Okay, but still, free ice cream. Eat it, enjoy it, make love to it. I mean, maybe AEW is just one of those shows that decides, you know what, we've got a great match here. We can make this great match. One day we're all going to be dead, so let's just do it. And look, I still want to see it. I've always wanted to see it, and now I'm going to get to see it. So I ain't complaining here, people. You can go do that somewhere else. We then saw the Gun Club as well, because they were about to check into their hotel when they threw their bags at some valets before they were like, ha ha. That's not valets, that's Top Flight. This then broke into an argument about who is the best brother tag team in AEW. And I was like, there is actually quite a lot of sibling tag teams in All Elite Wrestling. And basically, we're now going to do this title match on Dynamite. I don't care who you are. This came more out of nowhere than damn Omega versus Vikingo. Still, it did allow us to segue into our main event. Never had to guess. I think we're about to do the Jericho Appreciation Society versus the House of Black. And I didn't see this coming at all, because it was indeed Daniel Garcia taking on Brody King. And I suppose because Garcia took the pin on Dynamite, he took on the Beast here, and flubbed me sideways, he won. The good part was that Garcia was just running away from Brody King to begin with, because you would do that, when eventually he started to work on his knee. Now this was just smart wrestling. Because no matter how tall you are, if you have to sort of like roll around on your belly, you're probably not going to win a wrestling match. Daniel then decided to go hit on Julia Hart, which must have been the worst plan ever. Well, it was. There's no two ways about it, because King grabbed him, and oh my gosh, he threw him into Barry Barricade so hard that even if I did still have my sign, probably wouldn't get it out, just in case Brody comes and finds me. Garcia still had his own plan, so he tripped Brody King headfirst into Simba the Still Steps, so all my wrestling fans were being murked. But that was basically like hugging a lion, because Brody then hit this black hole slam and pile driver. This guy, he's so damn intense. He followed it up with a cannonball in the corner, and King is so big, I honestly thought Garcia was never going to move again. But he did, and he went after the leg, and I was like, well, thankfully he is doing this, because otherwise, horse noise, no chance. Once again, it failed because King hit this devastating lariat, but this Daniel Garcia wouldn't quit, and somehow he put this man into the walls of Jericho. And just go and listen to this. Everyone went, oh my God, to the walls of Jericho. So fair play all around that move. Somehow it's just always mega over. It must have pleased Jericho too, because then he teleported in with Floyd the baseball bat, and he clonked Brody King right in the head, and that knocked him out. So Daniel Garcia was like, all right, he applied some sort of dragon sleeper, but again, Brody had already gone night-night times. The ref was like, well, I guess this match is done. And yeah, Garcia got the W. That is classic. If you can't breathe, you probably can't win a wrestling match, so it does make sense. But fair play to AEW, because they have turned Brody King into such a devastating individual. Even then I was a bit like, well, that was silly. I don't think he should ever lose. I am going to give the match an up though, because I thought they gelled really well together. But I can't get away from my wrestling nerd side when it comes to this, so I am going to give it a down. I just think even with a bat shot, there was something missing here. I think if you were going to take Broads down, you should get a tank, right? A tank should roll in, and a goat gets shot out of the tank, and that smacks Brody King right in the head, and then you can go, wow, they used a tank and a goat? he didn't have a chance. And maybe it all comes down to the fact that the JAS are going to feud with the House of Black for the Trios titles, which doesn't really make any sense. The last time we saw Jericho, he lost to Ricky Starks, but look, this ties into the Omega, the Kingo stuff. I do understand it. Sometimes your geek side, well, you just can't move away from it. And that's what's happening here. I suppose I just really love Brody King. Will you marry me? Thanks. Which did bring us to the end of Rampage, and you know what? I'm not even going to say what I always say. Go and moan and argue about the ratings, I just don't care. I want all of wrestling to prosper, and I always find a way to have a good time. Up. Now please do leave a comment below and let me know what you thought about last night's episode of Rampage. And look, SmackDown Ups and Downs on the screen right now. Make sure you click that. You absolutely have to watch that go home angle. But my name is Simon for WhatCulture. Thank you as always for joining me on a Saturday. I appreciate your time. Keep on enjoying wrestling. That's the point of it. Goodbye.